Hi, Genki Call here with a review of the game Stray by BlueTwelve Studio, released in 2022. The game itself is hard to pigeonhole into a single genre as it changes so much as you progress. What starts out as a walking sim type exploration game becomes a run for your life, don't eat me, to stealth, oh my god, I'm gonna die, and back to exploration again. But I am going to call this an action adventure. For the story, the day in the life of a cat turns to a story of discovery and survival when the environment betrays you and plunges you into the depths of a dysfunctional, heretofore forgotten city. With the help of a new friend, you must find your way out if you ever want to be reunited with your family, and maybe save the city along the way. So our protagonist is a cat, a gloriously nuanced feline in every way, from its curiosity to scratching up the furniture to tripping denizens of the city to its fuzzy little tail. For gameplay, the controls felt a little wonky to me, a bit hard to get used to, but in the end, by messing with the sensitivity on the controller and simply playing the game, it made things feel more natural, and it in the end didn't get in the way of my enjoyment of the game. I was confused about the tags on Steam at first because the first hour and a half is entirely getting used to the environment and eventually meeting the companion who will accompany you for the rest of the game. Tags like cyberpunk, horror, stealth, I really didn't see any of these in that time. They do apply, just not early on. And you could argue that Cyberpunk absolutely applies to the early gameplay, but it didn't really have that cyberpunk feeling that I had been expecting right at the beginning. Movement is not limited to the ground. Our nimble friend must climb and jump his way through the environment, and we even have some fast travel options to speed things up. Super nice. There are a couple of very light puzzles, nothing brain bending, and we eventually will discover the dangers of the city and will have to use our very best moves to evade certain death. Stealth is not going to work out in these particular environments, so people who have coordination issues might have troubles progressing past a certain point in the game, so be aware of that. There are collectibles to find along the way, memories that will reveal more about our mysterious little bot friend, how this city came to be, and how the place ended up in its current state. These memories really add to the ambiance and the interest of the game, so I highly recommend seeking those out. There are 24 Steam achievements that are made easier to obtain because of the chapter select option. This also shows how many of the memories you've obtained per chapter, making it easier to know where you might have missed some of those memories. You may have to look at the actual Steam achievements to see what you've missed. That'll give you a clue. As for sights and sound, this is a beautifully crafted environment with gorgeous plants, interesting characters, and some truly breathtaking sights along the way. There is also a huge creep factor depending on where you are and what you're currently doing in the game. Alas, Steam reviews only allow me 3 images um, to show up. So for my Steam review, there are only 3 images there, but this is a video, so you get to see actual gameplay. Suffice to say, there are plenty of opportunities in this game for screenshot taking if you enjoy that kind of thing. As for the sounds, they're nicely environmental, but I do recommend making use of the sound and music sliders because for me, the music got really annoying in parts. There are a huge amount of mods for the game, from simple recolors to entirely new shapes, such as Gigi from Kiki's Delivery Service, various cartoons, and even some dogs and puppies. I myself ended up, as you can see, using the Garfield mod because my viewers requested it, and it's really funny. So, the verdict. The bad is that the gameplay for me was too jarringly different in each of the areas to have a natural flow and rhythm. It would have been much better if the types of play had been spread throughout the game rather than concentrated into certain segments. It just left it feeling really unbalanced for me. As for the good, the protagonist is delightfully cat-like with beautifully realized mannerisms that any lover will recognize. It really offset the unease I felt from the lack of balance in the gameplay. The story is really interesting, especially if you take the time to find the memories spread across the chapters. And one element of the final sequence actually took me by surprise. I definitely can appreciate that. Overall, I feel that Stray is a flawed title due to the issues that I've mentioned, but it's still one that's fun to play and experience, so I definitely will give this one a thumbs up. Check it out on Steam and on console.